Well, hello friends, and welcome back to the cabin. You know, with the price of everything today and it being so high, I can't afford to finish the inside of the workshop with big box material, and not that I would want to, but what we're doing is using logs that we have cut from our own homestead here, and we're logging them, bringing them to the sawmill, running them through the sawmill. Then I bring the material inside, cut it to measurement, and we end up with walls that are just as good, if not better, than plywood that we would buy from the big box store. Then we've got to go back up there to North Carolina and finish that job that we started on Grandma's back porch. So y'all hang in there, we're gonna have a lot of fun. Well, we've got that lumber stacked up inside the workshop here, drying out before we begin processing it. I was also able to come up with a rocking chair for that corner over there. Okay, and we've got another one to put up here. That's what I carry my wood in. Well, how about that, friends? I'm about to get this little place fixed up down here. I don't want to get this area over here too cozy because I don't want to be hanging out down here and not getting anything accomplished, right? So I need to live life to its fullest while I can. But yeah, I think that this is really going to be nice. Let me show you what I got in this little can right here. This is what I actually used at the house before we went propane up there. So I've got just pieces of paper rolled up right here, fire starter. I've got matches. I've got more sheets of paper right here. Inside this I've got a bunch of pine rosin in there. So I've got whatever I need to start fire with down here. Plus we've got all those sawdust shavings out there that we've been saving. So we'll be able to start fires here without any problem. Check out those dogs. They're loaded up, ready to go. I've got to run down to Jennifer's and get a battery I've been using to have lights down here temporarily till I can get power down here. I want to run down and see if these boards are kind of ready to process. They've been drying for 2 days, so we'll check it out. Okay, there they are. You can tell down there on the bottom where they had wet spots. See that right there? That has dried up considerably, so they are still damp, but they're a lot drier than what they were. So we'll get those out, run them through the planer, then run them across the dado blade, and we'll make some more siding for the inside of the workshop. Well, I had stopped to get a bite to eat and something to drink, so I'm going to go down here and I'll show you what we've got accomplished so far. We got all of these short ones done right here. Those are 10 foot. I think there was like maybe 11 of them, but I think we've got about 15 or 18 of these 12 footers. So that's what we're going to do next. Well, good morning. I'm going to go down here and check these boards that I laid out because I'm trying to rearrange things so that whenever we get these boards finished processed, then I can actually start putting up insulation and continue on with getting the walls up. So I'll show you what I'm doing. So these are the ones that we processed. These are the short ones, and then over here is the 12 footers. So I'm going to start with this back wall over here. That's the reason that I need my 12 footers. I need to get that plyboard moved over here in the corner so that it'll be out of my way. Then we can finish this short section of wall right here, and then we just have these 3 walls left up here on the bottom, but they'll go faster because there's lots of doors and windows in that, so I don't need a whole lot of material. Once we get that down, then we can finish putting the flooring down. Then I can work on building a front door and then this door right here. I think I'm going to wait to do this door till next year, but if I can close that area off in there in the front, then that's the only area that I have to heat, because I really have no reason to heat this area back here. Well, friends, that's kind of the plan, and this is all that I have left to process. See those 6 boards right there? Those are all 12s except that one, and that's a 10.
Voila.
Well, I got the equipment picked up and put away in case it rains. And I thought I was done, and then I realized that top board on the right there, that poplar, I forgot to do that. So I'm going to have to drag that equipment back out here, but I'm going to do it later and finish that one board because I think I'm just going to have enough. But check this out. I got all that material moved over there out of the way and got this wall cleared and ready to move all of those tools and put insulation in there. Then we'll take those 12 footers and we'll put those up. I think we're going to need about 10 of them. Then I'll use these short ones over here because I lack about, what, maybe 4 over there. So we'll finish that wall out. Then whatever 12s and 10s we have left, we're going to use those on the front wall up here. And then I'll cut whatever remainder that we need and I'll process those. and we'll finish this bottom out, and then I'm going to go ahead and hang insulation in up top so that I can go ahead and heat this during the winter, and then we can kind of work on possibility cutting some 2x10s for this second floor up here during this winter. While we've been processing these boards, we've also been burning this pile, so that's nearly all gone now. I did find some big box lumber in there that I'm going to go ahead and save. That one piece is pressure treated right there, that 2x8. And once I get rid of this small pile of wood right here, I can actually clean up all of this area right here, and I can either park the four-wheeler right there, which is what I've been thinking about doing, or I got one of those 250-gallon totes that I could bring and set up down here, and we can plumb it into our drain system right there, and I would always have water down here at the workshop. This was also given to me a while back. It's a nice dartboard. I may go ahead, I had hung that picture right there that somebody had painted for me. Thought it was kind of cool. They actually did a really good job on it. I may go ahead and take that down and mount that. That thing would have to kind of mount right here. Then I could stand over here by the fireplace and I could throw darts at that other wall. But it might work as well hanging it on the back of one of these doors once we get it put up. I don't believe I can mount it permanently because of the door swinging back and forth. You know, it'd be just too difficult to keep that board on its hinge on the inside. So just something that I can use to hang it up there. That way we can actually play darts down here. That would be kind of fun, wouldn't it? Anyway, I've got a friend that passed away, so I'm going to run real quick to the funeral, and then I'll be back and we'll get started on that wall down there at the workshop. Well, I'm going to see, I got everything else moved. Let's get these tools out of the wall right here. And we'll get on with putting some insulation in here and getting this wall closed up. About got this insulation finished, but I'm going to tell you all a secret. Be sure and don't tell anybody, but I went and put these Crocs on instead of those boots because recently I've been practicing guitar to try to learn, you know, something new, and tapping my foot to the music, I developed a shin splint, and I'll tell you what, if you see me limping, that's why. My son laughed at me because he plays guitar, he knows what I'm talking about. I said, well, why didn't you warn me? He laughed. Well, friends, I think I'm going to go rest this leg, but I've got the first board ready to go down there, got the insulation put in. We're ready to start on the largest section of the wall that we've got in this workshop. And the other thing is, I decided not to mill up a beam to carry it to North Carolina because we're going to stop and get a couple of posts anyway. Might as well just get a couple of 2x8s, and I'll take a bunch of screws up here. We'll screw them together once we get up there. That'll make it a whole lot easier. believe we're good. See if we measure 3 inches right there. Yep, they'll go in there. Well, friends, it was a little bit hard to try to film and get this up here, but there's the post that we've got put in on that little pier that we made. And then those two 2x8s, they go across and they undergird all of these with our new post right over here on the corner. We left the other post in there for the time being, so at some point we'll come back and cut that out, but right now I need to get back because I have an appointment to go to. So I'm just trying to get my stuff together and get it up to the top of the hill all in one piece. Yeah, I picked that up. I'm going to take that home and try to do something with that as well. So I'll get these tools picked up and we'll head back to Tennessee, see if we can get some of those walls put together in the workshop there. Getting closer, ain't I? Yeah, buddy. Well, I've kind of been off and on camera today, so let me show you what we've actually been doing at times that we weren't on camera. I actually got all of the wood moved from this end and burned, with the exception of a few sticks down there. These were the things that I used to walk on when I was putting up the rafters in the cabin, and so I'm going to have to take all the screws out so that I can burn that material. But we've got that looking real good down here now. It gives me a place that I can actually back the four-wheeler in, and I'm thinking I may go ahead and, like I said before, build a small platform back there and put one of them big water totes right there, hooking into that downspout where I can always have water down here. Got the inside right here all cleaned up. Got all of that wood moved that I had stacked there. So right back here is the wood that I had decided to save. It's all stacked up. Of course, I need to go through that and stack it up better, but I just got it out of the way. Then this is what we're looking like on the inside of the workshop now. It's starting to really take form. So I think tomorrow I'll finish this small wall right here, and then I'll rearrange these tools back over against that back wall so that we can finish this front and these two sides right here on the bottom portion. I've also got a power panel that I picked up that I need to get installed over there so that we can go ahead, like I said, and put the face on. Getting rid of a lot of that wood sure did make it look a whole lot better around here. I think from now on when I'm milling logs, what I'm going to do is go ahead and start a fire. That way I can burn my offcuts or save anything if I'm going to save it for the stove in there, especially during the winter time, to burn. But that way I get rid of them and I don't end up getting anything that's getting piled up around here. Moved here so that I can finish this end of the wall before I start the front. Well, I got everything moved, ready to start on this wall back here. I've got one piece left that's like that, Then the rest of it's a little bit different color, but it is poplar to finish out that wall. But you're going to have to stay tuned till next week to see what it's going to look like. Friends, thanks so much for stopping by. We certainly do appreciate it. And we look forward to seeing you back up here at the cabin again next time.